So here's the drill at Ben Franklin High School in Philadelphia. 40% dropout rate, and of the 60% left, only 10% do reading, writing, or arithmetic at even a grade school level. 100% of the students are quote-unquote economically disadvantaged, so everybody gets a free lunch. Everybody knows that, some version of what I just said. Even so, oh, and by the way, it's a chocolate school, 90% black. That's a black school in a black neighborhood of North Philadelphia. So when the news comes in that there's a shooting at Ben Franklin High, accompanied by large-scale black mob violence, you kind of have to pretend you're surprised. You kind of have to pretend that this doesn't happen there frequently. You have to pretend that violence is not an everyday part of life there, not just for the students, but students directed at faculty, students directed at staff, at security guards, at people who live nearby. You kind of have to pretend that, this is just a regular school with regular people and this is just like something that's really surprising to everybody.
The big story on Action News tonight is a very rough day at Philadelphia's Ben Franklin High School. There was a fight in a hallway, as seen in this video. There was also a fight in a stairwell, and police say somebody fired a gun. Police have taken 5 individuals into custody. We're still sorting out the details of exactly what happened and why. Action News reporter Gray Hall is live outside the school tonight. Gray, what do we know about what happened there today?
Well, Jim, I can tell you it was a very emotional and frightening time for everyone inside Ben Franklin High School today. We can confirm that a bullet casing was found inside the school, and tonight 5 students are in police custody.
I heard boom and everybody started running.
Students at Ben Franklin High School are reacting after there are reports that someone fired a gun inside the school.
I was scared though. I didn't know what was going on. They didn't tell us that. They just like the school on lockdown. Nobody could leave out.
The school does have a metal detector, and students are puzzled about how anyone could manage to get a gun inside.
There's a metal detector at every door. How did they get it in? You know they suspended me for 5 days for a lighter, which was this big.
Police say there was a fight and reports of a shot fired. Officers confirmed they did find a shell casing inside the school from a .45 caliber handgun. Our cameras were rolling as officers escorted 3 students out of the school in the Spring Garden section of Philadelphia. Hours later, 2 more students were hauled off in cuffs. Their involvement in the incident is not clear.
We do know that the shot was confirmed by a security officer on location. So we are searching this building. It's a very large building. There's nothing going on right now. Everybody's safe. No one was hit.
A student shared this video with Action News, claiming that it was filmed today before the shot was fired. Reports of a shooting and the school on lockdown put parents in panic mode and scrambling to get in touch with their children.
They got them on lockdown in the cafeteria, that someone heard shots, or they found the casing in the stairway, and they got them in the cafeteria on lockdown. They won't let nobody in or out the building.
Investigators are still working to figure out exactly what happened inside the school.
We're just going to do a floor-by-floor search in hopes of uncovering this weapon.
And back out live tonight, still no confirmation that a weapon was found inside the school. We also can tell you that police say they are reviewing surveillance video in hopes of getting to the bottom of today's lockdown.
You know, for the last 7 years, the Department of Education has been determined to prove that the enormous disparity between black students and white students in schools and school districts around the country is a result of one thing only, that is white racism. And one of the things they've done is work with school districts like the Philadelphia School District to convince them to stop criminalizing their students. Let's stop arresting students. We don't need to call the cops on to these campuses all the time. So all the fighting, all the assaults, all the robberies, all the theft, all these things that you and I recognize as fairly serious crimes are now dealt with as disciplinary problems. And by the way, when people like you and I go to the reporters and go, hey, what about all the crime and violence in these Philadelphia schools? They look at us and go, Colin, you don't know the numbers. Because the numbers reflect not the activity of the students. The numbers reflect the activity of the administrators and the school board who have stopped calling the police on most of the criminal infractions at the school. Except if nobody had fired a gun, we never would have heard about this. There would have been no cops, nobody arrested for fighting, nothing. You don't call the cops for fighting anymore in school. No matter how big the fight, no matter how dangerous the actors, no matter how much damage they do, that's not what's happening in these school districts all around the country now. So here we got Philadelphia. Everybody, this guy, whatever his name is, this reporter, he's pretending like he's not aware of any of this. It's like, man, this school shooting, dang, this is really surprising. Well, it's not surprising. It would be surprising if at Ben Franklin High School, it would be surprising if there were not mayhem, not violence. It would be surprising if the kids were reading, writing, learning arithmetic, going to college, behaving. It would be surprising if the parents of all races could send their children there with safety and security, but none of that exists. So if you're in Philadelphia and you're looking for a place to send your child to school, let me offer you two observations. One, you probably don't want to send your child to a school where everybody has to go through a metal detector. In my world, that's child abuse. Not the metal detector, but sending your child to a school that is so dangerous that it requires a metal detector. That's number one. Number two, maybe even more important than that. Don't make the black kids angry.